Hello. This is Rashonda Thornton, the Dietitian Against Diets podcast. I want to welcome you to my podcast show. This particular one is called the Playbook series. Now, the Playbook series is unique from the typical podcast show because I'm not interviewing. I'm actually talking about some particular topics that we can connect to when it comes to our relationship with food and how we go back and forth with it. And it's actually information and wording and content that I pulled from my book called Play to Win Your Food Fight. So if you haven't yet picked that book up, grab it on, you can go on my website to RashondaThornton.com and either select a paper book version or an ebook version. And I tell you, it's a book of tools, not rules, to help you win your food fight. So as I'm getting into the particular series, I want to give a shout out to one of my bigger partners, and that's Midwest Dairy. They have a campaign out called Undeniably Dairy. It's a unique way of illustrating dairy because undeniably means all of the different nutrients that comes out of dairy goods. You can't deny that. And also, what does it mean to be undeniably dairy? There's so many ways you can utilize dairy in your foods, when it comes to your kids, when it comes to you. So you're also being able to be creative in how you utilize dairy products, but also feel comfortable knowing that you're bringing in nutrients as well. I, as a dietitian, has always know what it looks like on the outside when it comes to teaching people how important it is to incorporate dairy products into their balanced meals. But until I went to a farm, that's when I really started to see the behind the scenes picture about what it looks like before it gets to the store. And that's something that I think is really important because when you start understanding the cow care that's being done, the way that they recycle their land, and the way that they feed and make sure that their cows are comfortable and take every part of the process from cow to counter to where they're making sure there aren't any hormones, aren't any chemicals in any of their products, and that it's all healthy and nourishment for their consumers. If you want to kind of know more and what that looks like, I encourage you to go to their website and get more info at dairygood.com. You can easily follow them on Instagram at Midwest Dairy as well, and just kind of keep you in the loop. So as I'm getting ready to move into the Playbook series, one of the biggest things that I find when I'm working with a lot of clients or just people in general is that the moment they start getting on a healthy eating journey, things don't move at the rate they want. They have these unrealistic expectations, and they find themselves getting frustrated. So when you get frustrated, that to me paves the ground for failure. How many of you have had the thought process of what it's going to look like when you start eating healthy? I'm going to follow this diet plan to the T. I'm going to get into that size, whatever 8, 12, 6, whatever number you want. You have the particular number that you're looking for. Or you have a birthday coming up and you want to look good for your birthday. I totally get it. Or you just have a timeline. I'm going to lose 15 pounds in 2 weeks. So we create these ideas of this is what it should look like, and then the moment it doesn't happen or it's moving a little bit slower than what we thought, we try to force it. And then through force, we get frustrated. And when we get frustrated, we're just laying the groundwork for failure. And unfortunately, that's the dance that we typically find ourselves having when it comes to making these healthy choices. So the reason why I say frustration, because we just dig ourselves deeper into a hole and we get more and more frustrated. And when you get frustrated with anything, you totally lose sense of what you're really supposed to do. Just think back when we were little kids. And I use this because everyone can relate. When you're a little kid and there's a particular toy, or let's say you have kids and there's a particular toy they like and they're trying to adjust the way they want, or they're playing, they have a puzzle and they're trying to fit the puzzle into the puzzle piece and it's just not going the way they want, what do? They throw a tantrum, they get upset, and they lose complete control. That's kind of like what we find ourselves doing because we're trying to force change rather than allowing change to happen when it comes to our nutrition. So the reason why I said it because I want to flip the script, and I want you guys to look at another way of how you can rearrange your approach when it comes to your healthy eating and whatever space you are in or wherever place you're in when it comes to your healthy eating. Instead of getting frustrated, which opens up the pathway to failure, consider changing your lenses and getting more focused. Now, when I say focus, understanding what focus, just by definition, what does focus mean? Focus means to be able to zone in and be able to center yourself and be able to direct yourself to where you are wanting to go specifically. So when it comes to your healthy eating, what is that? What is focus? What are the benefits of that focus can bring to your life? I have three particular things I want to bring up about what focus can bring to your life. Focus allows calmness. It creates calmness because if you're stressed about losing weight, stress is the opposite of being calm. You're stressed, you feel desperate, you try to push, and stress begets stress. So when you're able to take a moment and just be calm and be methodical about not just your choices, but why you're choosing your choices, it would allow you to be more centered in the direction that you're going to go. So if you're frazzled about should you eat this or should you not, or should you go work out or should you not, I guarantee you, if you take a moment and just take a deep breath, it'll allow you to think through not just what you're doing, but why are you choosing to eat healthier? Why are you choosing to make that trip to the gym? And then when you start to just pause and think in between the moment of being stressed and taking action, then you're able to see that it allows you to move forward in a way that you just are choosing to do that. And it creates the calm feeling. I always tell people it's a methodical thing because once you realize you can't force change, you have to allow it to happen. So how can you center yourself to get more focused and create that calm sensation and making your choices from there? When you're being focused, it allows you also to plan. Think about your career. Everyone knows before you get into your career, there is some planning that's involved. Obviously education and training and getting experience is a part of that. But if you're focused on what you really want to be in life, you take the time and you allow yourself to plan for it. Planning is what creates success. So let's pick that up and incorporate that into our eating. Um, it's easy to push the easy button, and a lot of times we think that's the way it goes. Whether it's, you know, I hate to say it in a bad way, but popping a pill or starting this rigid plan or creating this another layer of stress, we have to understand that that doesn't last forever. It takes planning. So when you are focused, you are able to plan out, okay, if my day's going to be busy, how I'm going to line my foods up to where it fits in there. If I'm going to have an idle day, which means we know what happens when it's idle, we kind of over snack or we get bored and we just bring in foods. You know what it means when your day is idle. So how can you plan your day for when your day is idle? And there are going to be times when you plan it and life doesn't fall into the same space. But the whole point is, as long as you're being intentional in your planning, that's what's going to allow you to move down the path to success that you want. So planning means physically planning. We all know the whole word prep. Doesn't mean make 10 of the same meals and eat it throughout the week. I personally don't do that. I think it's boring. I don't think it creates diversity. But planning can mean making sure that your breakfast, you know exactly what you're going to have for breakfast. You know what your snack's going to be for the next day. And you already know what dinner's going to look like. When you're able to plan, that comes from focusing on the bigger goal, what it is that you want for yourself. So when you are, again, in this space where you want to make change, you want to create time to allow for planning. I promise you, when you start allowing time for planning because you're now focused, you're going to be on a more steady pathway to the place you want to be in your idea of whatever success means for you. The third, you have to keep your goals in the forefront. It's easy to get distracted. It's easy to get caught up in things that are happening on a regular basis. And then we take a left, we take a right, we sit on the sideline because we lose focus on the bigger goal that we want for ourselves. What is it that you truly want for yourself? And what you really want for yourself is something long term, not something short. So allowing yourself to focus on, keep your goals in the forefront. It's easy to, again, try to put blinders on and just follow some sort of plan, but you're still not looking at the bigger picture as far as what is it you truly want to do. Do you want to just lose 10 or 20 pounds, or say you lost 10 or 20 pounds, or do you want to lose 10 or 20 pounds and be able to keep that off for the rest of your life? That's a big difference. So when you think of success, success is not just I've, lost the weight I promised myself I was going to lose. It's I've lost that weight, but I also know how to live at that weight. And then when you're able to do that, that takes away this thing that they call a yo-yo. That takes away you getting frustrated, you feeling that you're going to fail. It's looking at the bigger goal and what you want in front of you. So the bottom line is no matter how appealing quick weight loss sounds, there is no quick change. Allow yourself to be in the moment of your change and implement the practice of focus into your personal journey. The more you allow focus to overcome the frustration, the less you will feel failure and be able to live into the goals you set for yourself. So I hope that this is something that you were able to pull something out of this particular playbook series and take these nuggets with you and apply it somewhere in your life, somewhere in your journey, so that you understand what it's going to take for you to get to where you want to be and be able to live there. Again, this is the Rashonda Thornton, the dietitian against diets. You will hear me say it all the time. Let's go against the diet mentality of limitations, and let's learn how to build a positive relationship with what we eat, let it represent ourselves, and be able to live a life of happiness. So go to my website. You see more of these podcasts. Please go on there, share it, like it, spread it around, because there's a lot of information out there that a lot of people need, and we only want the best for those around us and for ourselves. Thank you guys for listening. Before I head out, I want to give a shout out to Custom Foodscaping, a company here in St. Louis. They're about recreating the space from just not having flowers in your flower bed, but actually turning it into something that can be sustainable, that you can eat. They're all about permaculture, helping you to build plants and gardens that can last over the years, not just for a short period of time. Help you to reconnect in what you eat and help you to appreciate the space that you have. Go to their website. You see some of their workshops, some of the projects that they have been working on, and get a little bit more information about what they really do and what it looks like if you were to work with them at their website at customfoodscaping.com. And you can also follow them on Instagram on Custom Foodscaping. Thanks again for listening to this podcast. I look forward to speaking with you guys again. Thanks.